Hello, this is Reverend Tonya Wooliver with Shema Ministries International in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm one half of a teaching and ministry team together with my husband, Dr. Ron Wooliver, that travels the United States and abroad teaching the principles of Christian life and relationship. We've had the joy of working with many cultures in the last 20 years, but today we want to talk to you about some very special little people in Zambia, Africa. Even in today's modern world of foreign aid, Zambia is one of the world's poorest nations. Along with several other African nations, Zambia has been suffering from a terrible epidemic of HIV/AIDS since well before the turn of the century. In October 2000, USA Today reported, Africa's raging HIV epidemic will make 40 million children orphans in the next 10 years by killing 1/3 to 1/2 of all adults in several countries. It seems possible that millions will become street children trying to survive by whatever means they can. Now, sad as this news was, it was frankly just an item on our prayer list until the Lord sent us into Zambia, where we came face to face with these impoverished and overwhelmed people. We found Zambia to be an interesting mix of several large urban cities, yet thousands of natives still live in grass huts in remote villages. And in between these two extremes, on the edge of every city, are huge shanty towns filled with people who have moved in from the bush, but have no education or skills to support themselves in the city. This is where the poorest of the poor live, by the thousands. In 2001, we went to the Copper Belt region of Zambia to conduct a conference for pastors and their wives in Chifubu, a huge shantytown district on the outskirts of the city of Ndola. This district is actually nicknamed the Third World by the rest of the city. Here we met Reverend Christopher Mubanga and his wife Mary, a pastor and school teacher dedicated to serving Christ and leading people into a better life. Chris and Mary were overwhelmed with the burden for the orphan population exploding around them. They awakened us to the fact that whenever one person dies of AIDS, they usually leave behind a spouse who will also die within the year. Added to this problem is malaria, which also claims many lives in a country where medical care is poor or non-existent. For the 2 to 4 children in such a family, life becomes a cruel fight for survival, where profound grief is overshadowed by the need to eat and stay warm. Imagine that you live in Chifubu, and each time you go to the outdoor markets to buy your vegetables, you are confronted with children begging for food. You see them digging in the garbage dumps, looking for something to eat, and find them sleeping under tables in the marketplace, especially during the rainy season when it rains endlessly for months. Could you ignore them? Well, Chris and Mary Mubanga could not. The Mubangas, who live and pastor in the midst of this large shanty town, had little means to help these orphans, but they felt they had to do something. Meet Sandra, age 5. After her mother died of AIDS, her father abandoned her. When the Mubangas found her in the marketplace, she had not eaten for days, and was in so much despair she was looking for a rope to hang herself with. Moved with compassion, the Mubangas took Sandra in to raise alongside their own 4 children. As the orphan population grew beyond the ability of these few families to care for them, Chris and Mary organized volunteers from their church, New Hope Christian Center, to help. They scraped together every bit of extra money, and when they had enough, invited the orphans on a Saturday morning for a hot meal. In no time, they had 75 to 100 orphans coming every Saturday that they could manage it. Since the church did not even have their own building and had to rent a place for Sunday worship, they also had to rent it again on Saturdays to feed these children. The millions of dollars donated by the U.S. and other countries must go through many channels before becoming a meal on a child's plate, and more often than not, does not even reach these children who are not in well-known famine camps, but simply hidden in plain sight in these shanty towns. We could not stop thinking about the Lord's passion that His people take care of those who cannot take care of themselves. After working with the Mubangas and New Hope for a season, and witnessing their integrity and faithfulness, we began to raise and send regular monthly support in 2002. This has enabled them to consistently offer the orphans a hearty meal every Saturday. When the local government became aware of the work that New Hope is doing for orphans, they awarded the church 75 square yards of land bordering Chifubu to give them an opportunity to build a feeding center. The church members worked hard to clear the land by hand in preparation for building. With the help of some U.S. churches, Shema Ministries raised the necessary $5,000 for the first building, and construction began in March of 2004. As soon as the rainy season ended in April, the Saturday meals moved to a lean-to they had erected on the land, so the rent money could now be saved and used to buy more food. The children come every Saturday, wait patiently, and pray thankfully for their food, while the widows prepare it for them. With great joy, we dedicated and opened the Jesus Love Kitchen on May 1, 2004. You have never seen a happier bunch of orphans. Today, the Jesus Love Kitchen serves 80 to 100 orphans each week through the funds that we raise and send. Each week, volunteers from the church prepare vegetables, beans, and a native porridge called nshima for the children. Once in a while, if there is enough money, they get to add some chicken to the meal. The feeding center also doubles as a classroom. School is not free in Zambia, so orphans drop out of school entirely when they or the families they stay with are unable to pay the fees. Without an education, many turn to crimes like petty theft or prostitution in order to live. Mary Mubanga has organized classes and teachers to educate these orphans and give them a better life. Their dream is to build an orphanage and a school for the children. It is said of God, "To the faithful you show yourself faithful." He is proving it through this project. As soon as the church built the feeding center for the orphans, the city of Ndola donated an adjacent plot of land, bringing the total to almost 22 acres. New Hope now grows some of their own vegetables, and they have enough land to build everything they need to help these children. But for a hungry child, the immediate need is still a healthy, hot meal, and more than just once a week. Our immediate goal here at Shema Ministries is to send enough money each month to add another meal on Wednesdays, and ultimately serve them a hot meal every day of their lives. We need your help to accomplish this goal. There are 3 ways that you can get involved. First, you could commit a certain amount in monthly support. This will help us know more certainly how much we can spend each month for food. Funds can be sent to us through PayPal, personal check, or money order. Secondly, you can participate in our feeding jar program. Simply get a quart glass jar and put your spare change in it at the end of every day. Email us and we'll send you a picture of our orphans for your jar. Parents tell us they love to watch their children get excited about giving and missions when they put the jars right on the meal table. The children love being able to see the faces of those they are helping, and they pray for them. Once a month, or when your jar is full, just send us the money that you have collected. Finally, you can tell your pastor, church mission board, or other group about Jesus Love Kitchen and the opportunity for monthly support or implementing the feeding jar program. Please check our website, shema.org, for more information, or you can send us an email at shema@charter.net to ask how to get started. As of 2008, nearly 17% of Zambians are infected by HIV. Over 800,000 children have lost one or both of their parents. We're not a large ministry, and we're not trying to feed the children of a whole region, only a group of them in one small overlooked corner of Africa. These are not the bloated, emaciated children you see in most hunger campaigns, but without our help, they remain in a hopeless situation, constantly hungry, not just for a healthy meal, but for the hope of a better life. You can make a direct difference and extend the loving, practical hand of the Lord to them. On behalf of Shema Ministries, Pastor Mubanga and his wife Mary, and the people of New Hope Christian Center in Chifubu, we thank you for your help.